criminal too, James. You ain't taking what's yours.
What? Wait, what exactly am I taking?
You're taking from the casinos.
That's what you think. Okay. I'm caught up now. The casinos have been taken from us since we've been here. So if you ask me, the new Orleans is just like the old one. That one sucked too.
Cutthroat City is about four friends in New Orleans' lower Ninth Ward who return after Hurricane Katrina to find their homes decimated. With no jobs and no help from FEMA, they turn to a local gangster for help. Things quickly go south. I love this movie. It's very intense. It's such a good movie. Make sure you check it out. To tell us more about the film, we are joined by director RZA and Kat Graham, who stars in the film. Hello, you two. How's it going?
Oh, goody good. Peace.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what an honor. By the way, like, I just need to pinch myself because that introduction that I'm actually on a Zoom with RZA and that he's my director, and like, I just, give me a minute because that's just like, that is a big deal. I hadn't even had an experience like this at all. You really, like, you're like an actor's dream director, like, hands down.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that because, Kat, you've had a lot of directors. So what was it about RZA that made him so evolved and the reason that you really liked working with him as an actor?
RZA is a different type of, like, he's from another planet, and he's all about energy and all about awareness and consciousness and making conscious decisions. He's really, I'm not just saying this because you're on here, but RZA is very, very prolific. So if a scene needed an adjustment, if there was an energy tweak, if there was something that needed to be said, maybe wasn't on the paper, RZA has a way of bringing out the best in everyone, from the crew to the actors. Like, everyone wanted to work really hard for this great man, but also he communicates in a way that is, if there's a subtle performance thing to put in that, he will find a way to communicate that. A lot of directors that I'd worked with over the years almost over communicate, and they don't need to. RZA's all about the vibe, the energy, and just making things feel right. It was pretty surreal for me because I'd been spinning Wu-Tang records on vinyl when I was like 14 years old. So I was like, but by the most humble, amazing person.
Wow, that's some high praise there, RZA. It sounds really wonderful. This is your third feature that you directed. What was it about this project, Cutthroat City, that really spoke to you? And when you heard about it, you knew that you wanted to be involved?
Well, of course, I'm from New York, not from New Orleans, so I didn't go personally through the Hurricane Katrina experience. But the experience of four young men in an impoverished community having a lot of aspirations and then seeing those aspirations turn into desperations, that could happen in any neighborhood in America, whether you're in Detroit, whether you're in Park Hill, you know, whether you're in Atlanta, right? This happens. And so the story of these men resonated with me. And then the strength of the people around the men. You know, you look at Demira, played by Kat Graham, that's a strong woman. One of my favorite lines in the movie is she tells Ethan Hawke, "My husband is not a criminal." And that's a big statement for the film and for the culture, because when you have limited opportunities, but yet you have economic demands, you only could turn with so many places. You can't like just change your hat and be, oh, today I'm a painter, tomorrow I'm a carpenter, tomorrow the opportunities for our community are small.
Kat, what was it like working with Shameik Moore? It seems like you two had this great chemistry. There's some really sweet moments as well. So that must have been really fun to play. Talk to me about working with him.
Shameik is such a great talent. I won't even say it's raw, because he's just like, he can really do anything. A fun fact is that Shameik and I are both dancers. So it was very rare that in between takes, we weren't trying to battle each other. So that really, I think our friendship was built on a little bit of competitiveness.
What's Kat Graham's go-to dance move? I mean, if you're competing against somebody, what's the move you usually bust out?
I'll be popping and locking, you know, I'm a bit old school, and I'm also trained. So, you know, I could really stunt on Shameik when I was doing my like triple pirouettes and stuff. So like, you know, stuff like that. But we're like, you know, hip hop kids. I danced for Missy. You know, he's done a lot of his own dancing in his music. He does music too. So we went in, you know, we went in. We even did like, we'll even compete. Like, we're not RZA by any means. We are not professional, iconic hip hop artists, but we did do Drop the Mic to promote Cutthroat City. And I won that. And that's really the only Wu-Tang I've
That was a great episode, yo.
That was a great episode. I wiped him clean.
It's fun to hear that you got to do some fun things on set. Obviously, it's a very intense film, but you know, when you're on break, you get to do these fun things. RZA, did you participate in any of the behind the scenes fun, or were you very serious, director hat on, kind of all business?
Yeah, I didn't do no dancing, yo.
On a more serious note, though, you know, this is coming out at a time where there's this awakening about racial injustices. Obviously, there's been a lot going on in our country. RZA, is there a specific message that you hope the audience takes away from this movie regarding racial injustices and what we've been seeing going on as a country?
I mean, the film, you know, when it takes place in 2005, Hurricane Katrina, government fails to rise to the occasion to help the community that pays taxes for the government. It's not like they're giving money, like they're making it up. We all pay taxes into the system. And now here we are in 2020 with a pandemic. And again, the government is failing to take care of the certain communities. And it's definitely sad and appalling. And the film, to me, when you see it, you would think that, oh, that happened already. It ain't gonna happen again. But yet, it continues to happen. Shamik's character as Blake, he says, Katrina has always been with us. It's just had different names. And that's something to think about, you know?
Again, going back to the great cast that you have to bring this movie to life, T.I., Terrence Howard, it must have been such a joy to direct them.
I mean, they both brought something to the table, I think, that really helped elevate the film. You know, Terrence, it wasn't in the screenplay, the biblical quotes, but as the saint being called the saint and his layer being a church that he converted into criminal activities, we talked about, you know, maybe when he speaks before he does something crazy, he used a biblical quote. And he really got a kick out of that. And as far as T.I. really impressed me. I mean, I'm a fan of T.I. I love his music. I love watching him in his early film, ATL, and just, you know, just dig him as an individual. But I think the gravity and weight that he brought to the character Cousin was more than I expected.
Switching gears real quick here, let's talk about Wu-Tang and American Saga for a bit. Fans loved the first season. We're left wanting more. I mean, when can they expect to see season 2? Any news on when that would be coming and what we're gonna see?
Yes, I'd also like to know that.
Yeah, Pat also wants to know.
As the president of the fan club.
Don't have too much information. We just, everybody, you know, production is of course prepping in this COVID times, and there's so many new rules and regulations that we all got to go through. So we just adjusting to that, and we think we'll have everything adjusted, you know, by October, and get back in the water.
I love it. All right, last thing. RZA, I heard about this recently, and I'm so glad that this is happening. You've joined forces with Good Humor Ice Creams to produce a new jingle for ice cream trucks. The old one has some racist history, which I feel a lot of people didn't even know about. So I'm glad that it's coming to light. So what did this opportunity mean to you?
Well, a chance to help, or a chance to turn something that could be considered negative to be, you know, like, you can never erase things, right? But you can definitely move things and replace it with something else. The best way I can put it is that at one point they would paint all the houses in all the schools with lead inside the paint. And nobody knew that the lead in the paint was just killing all of us, right? So eventually somebody discovered it and they removed the lead from the paint. So to me, this new jingle is removing the lead from the paint. You know what I mean? And now we could have something more healthy, something built on joy and love with an intention, right? Not something that's just taken and thrown in. I made the jingle with the strict intention of goodwill, joy, and love.
And I really like the new jingle. I think it's such an upgrade. The old one was always like a little creepy. So all around, it's perfect. RZA and Kat, thank you so much for talking with me. I feel inspired talking to both of you because you're both so wonderful. And everyone, you can watch Cutthroat City. It's available August 21st.